Trumpcare is back. Two Republicans in the United States Senate, Graham and Cassidy, are now pushing another bill, and they're gaining votes. We worry now that they actually might have the votes necessary to move forward, and that's why we have to fight right now. That's why we need activism, we need your voice, we need people to help us to beat back this latest attempt to get Trumpcare through the United States Senate. And this version of Trumpcare is just as bad as the others and potentially worse for reasons I'm now going to explain. But what you need to know, fundamentally, we as a nation, under the ACA, under Obamacare, got millions of more people covered. And what this is going to do is reverse that, and millions of people will lose coverage. That's the big thing that you need to know. Millions of folks will lose coverage. Millions of Americans will go back into that shadow that hangs over people when they fear that they cannot afford to see a doctor, when they fear that they can't afford to get life-saving treatment, when they fear that their lives will be devastated, bankrupt, losing homes because of lack of medical coverage. So let's go through this. It's going to raise costs. It'll raise costs on older Americans. It's going to pull back those Obama subsidies that help people to afford their health care in the first place. On numerous ways, this is millions of people losing their coverage and millions of others having to pay more for their coverage. It would change Medicaid as we know it, gutting the program, putting a cap on it, and block granting it to the states. And so the Medicaid expansion that we saw under Obamacare, that gave millions of people access to health care, millions of working Americans, low-income Americans, access to health care, that will be over, and the program itself fundamentally will change. And then finally, you should not be denied insurance because of a pre-existing condition. Well, that guarantee with this Trumpcare version will be eliminated. And so this is not a time to rest. We've had to sound this alarm a few times, and frankly, it's been the activism of the public that has stopped Trumpcare, putting pressure on senators, affecting their votes. You all have made the difference. But now we're in the final hours. Right now, until September 30th, they can push something through with just 50 votes. And so now we need your voice to stop them from getting that measure. If there's any time in American history that we need your urgency and your action, it is right now. Do not be silent. Do not sit back. This is not a time for inaction or for apathy or indifference. Right now, there is a jeopardy. There is a threat to millions and millions of Americans. Please help stop Trumpcare version, whatever this is. Help stop this from happening. Let your voice be heard.